down. I'm so high up, I'm like, how niggas really getting down? I could never have a kid, then be out here still kidding around, boys playing around. Where you really wanna take it now? I got $150,000 for an after party, and I gave it to the killies just to break it down. Bring us up, I never take us down, but if you bring me up, then they might take it down. Fake fuck with me back then, but it's getting hard for you to fake it now. Fuck being rich when I'm 40, man, I'm trying to make it now.
Hell no, never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Park the beam just to ride the rave. $10 million gotta hide the safe. Michael Phelps with the swim moves. Michael Jordan with the tennis shoes. Quavo, young nigga, I invented you. Ike Turner with the left hand. Griselda Blanco with the trap move. Gangland with the right hand. Undertaker with the tattoos. Never listen to the classroom. Switch it up, they bit the last move. I'm a magnet for bad bitches. You got the going outside bitches. I spent the 50 on a chain. You spent your last 50. I got the key to the streets. You got the key to defeat. I got the key to the war zone. You got the key to the peace. Hell no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Park the beam just to ride the rave. $10 million gotta hide the safe.
We gon' go live, we gon' go live, yup. We gon' go live, we gon' go live, yup. Getting loose, yeah. Off a Henny Rock and a Henny Goose, yeah. Ocean deep in my swimming pool, yeah. Throwing dead prayers in my living room, yeah. Taking shots, feeling bulletproof. Flood my roller, told my bitch, let's go snorkel. Out in Portland, tryna get in her organs, yeah. No, I did not sign with Jay, but I still send a tidal wave, yeah. I might just go get the fade, buy the do-rag and just tidal waves, yeah. It's lit at the crib, you can stay. Me and Dre kick like kid and play, yeah. The way that she serving that cake, I gotta sit back and digest. I guess, for the fuck shit, I'm biased. I mix, double the cup when I stress. Got my mama out the basement, that's a different type of facelift. Remix be about the bracelets, don't hit us asking what the wave is.
Hell no, never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No.
Today, we're going to talk about Dinger Tuesday plays, craft up winners on the ice, and let's cash a squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Well, Jovan, the Orioles have now lost 7 games in a row. What a fucking joke. 15-31, more than 15 games under 500. You just got swept by the Nats. I haven't seen the Nats sweep a team, let alone the Orioles, I don't think in my lifetime. I'm all for reading a good book in the off season when your fucking feet are in the sands and you don't have a baseball game to worry about. Mid-season when you got a 6 ERA, fucking lock in, buddy. Put the books down. Grab a baseball. Hit the fucking treadmill, Trevor.
Of course, the Cubs are a team where if you give them like a single-pronged approach, simple approach at the plate, they can only key in on one pitch, which with Mick Abel is exactly what you have to do. They have been demolishing those pitchers every single time they see it. They ain't stopping now. I'm buying in. We're seeing a shootout.
320 feet. I could hit a ball that far. I mean, when do we normalize celebrating pop-ups? Aaron Judge, typical me guy move. Hitting a nuke there instead of just putting the ball in play. And look, he didn't make the dimensions of the park, but he decided to play them, and that shit pisses me off.
I got too much to live, no time to forget. New chrome, yeah, I got this shit on my head. You grown, shit, no, I don't got time for this. Alone, you just wanted something.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Tuesday, episode 716 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you are not tracking your bets on Pickets, what are you waiting for? Start tracking your bets today on the best bet tracking app out there by far. Bookit Sports, go download it on the App Store or Google Play. Whatever phone you got, they've got Bookit Sports for you to utilize. So check it out yourselves. And if you're looking to maybe get the best bet service out there, if you're betting every day, check out Bookit Pro, right, on your laptop or PC if you're really into this type of thing. Check it out. I think we have a promo code Bookit for Bookit Pro. Check it out. Jovan, we've got some work to do, my man.
A little bit of work, yeah. How we doing?
Yeah, we do. Let's go ahead and run it, Goots. Show the moose shit, squad ride. Go ahead and flash that puppy. Yep. Gosh, man. With how terrible they played, they only didn't cover by 2 points.
Yeah, just
honestly impressive.
Halliburton was a ghost the entire game because he was fucking hurt, and they still were right there.
Honestly impressive.
Even had a chance at the end. Matherin just dropped the ball.
I mean, they were dropping the ball every possession for the last 7 minutes. It was impressive.
Yeah.
Turnover after turnover. Yep. Crazy. Well, the good news is, Jovan, we have a chance to make it up today. We've already got some subbies coming in. We got Cameron Picks coming in, resubbing for 3 months. Cameron, you're him. W's. We got Big Rob coming in.
Detroit Mercy.
Big Rob. Big Rob. Come on.
Detroit Mercy is crazy.
It's only 9 losses. Big Rob. It's only 9. 9.
What was the last losing streak they had? Was it 7?
Earlier this year? Yeah, it was like 6 or 7. Yep. I mean, at what point are changes made?
It's just bad.
Sad. Last night we were up 4-3. 9th inning. Kyle Finnegan. Not even a bad pitch. Outside the zone. And the only feasible, useful player on the Rockies, Goodman. Hit a Nukenheimer, and then another Nukenheimer, and then a loss. Sure we can. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Dave needs an update on Lindor hits and Adley home runs because that shit ain't hitting. We did get an Adley home run last night.
Yeah. Shout out.
We did get an Adley home run last night. He's at 8.
Steinbrenner and the Unicorn.
Could be worse.
That was an absolute tank from Adley.
That shit was a pop.
Tank.
29 launch angle. Unicorn is
42
crazy.
launch angle.
Oh, yeah, 42. 29.
329 feet.
It's just insane.
I don't make the rules.
Hey, we take
no
those.
YouTube chats yet. I'll go ahead and say it, Jovan. No YouTube chats yet. A little disappointed.
I'll go ahead and
a little
say
disappointed. Not mad. Just disappointed. All right, let's have a day today, chat. We've got some work to do. We've got a hype train moving and grooving already for the next 3 minutes. That's huge. Nothing like starting out a BTL today with a hype train. Good to see you guys are still bought in after some squad ride cake last night. Our main focus today is to lock in and get you guys a squad ride W. Plain and simple. All right? Let's lock in.
Are the Rays
Jovan?
all the way back?
Man, the sharper
Are
ball
the
was bad
Rays
yesterday.
all the way back, they said. We're so raised.
They're more back than our sharp report. I'll tell you
Way
that
more
much.
back. Way more
Let's
back.
take a peep at that real quick. Let's take a peep. Not good. Hey. Worst day in a while.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad day. Haven't
both
had
of
one of
us.
those collectively in a bit.
I mean, what am I doing taking Shohei when I've got the over in the game? And what are you doing taking Ahmed when I've got the first 5 under in the game? What are we doing?
That was double goosage. That's
called getting too
we had
cute.
to avoid.
Jovan, 2 words. That's called getting too cute. Getting too cute.
Too cute. I feel 75 times more confident in today's slate, though, which is good.
Okay. 75X. You guys heard it here first, folks.
75.
W. Wiggins play. Only good play we had yesterday.
Yeah, you
Great call.
Save basketball.
Great call. He saved the sport. Yep. And yeah, how about that, not Trae Young? How about Luis Garcia, my guy, a.k.a. Garcia, up for 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs? I fucking bet.
I will be taking that, and it probably, if this was like 2 weeks ago, for sure would have been on Sharpport today. For sure would have been there.
Well, Luis, I mean, probably wouldn't have started yesterday anyways, but he's also been making some errors, playing some lazy defense. I don't know if he got benched. I don't know if it was just a matchup thing, but he's got something to prove when he steps on that field today against a righty, and you really couldn't pick a better matchup for Luis Garcia.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Than Sensatella. So how about some subbies coming in for Mr. Sade Whiteman? How about a 10 days?
Sade always sets the fucking platter, dude.
Setting the tone, setting the plat. Sade, have a fucking day, kid. Have a
Always
day.
sets platter.
Have a day, Sade. Come on. We got a hype train moving and grooving level 4. Sure. Those don't grow on trees, folks. Hype trains on a Tuesday. Dog days of summer do not grow on trees. You guys are appreciated. Thank you so much. We got the YouTube chat up and moving. Oh, here they are. Yep. Here they are. Shugs here. We got OSRS in here. We got Scott Quades. We got John Epping, Oaktown's finest. We got a whole squad in here. Lucas, Anthony, Shelby, and Rob. W Goats. W Goats. Okay, besides Rob Stone, he said we got to cancel.
Krabs, proud guardian of the Red Tube chat.
Sure, I got it pulled up now. I figured out how to get that up along with the Twitch. So I can see all your beautiful chats, whether you're on the YouTube or the Twitch. Does not matter. I can see you guys get involved. I want to make sure we're not leaving anybody out to dry. Okay, make sure you guys are all involved. All right? Dubs. 2.5 minus 115 on the book too, Jonesy. Wow, it's not even like it's super juicy to the under.
Oh, no.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. He's the only one up there too.
Huh.
Like James Wood doesn't even have a minus sign next to him for that. I figured it was like
Well,
I figured it would be like a Senzatella tax where everybody would get it, but it's not. It's like him. It's just him.
Yep. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Shout out Trent last night for getting a W. Boots on ground. We'll see if he can get 2 in a row. I doubt he can get 2 in a row. Not good for our Oilers' future, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe his luck's turning around. Maybe it's turning around. And yeah, Kyle B., we have not talked about the Murray State legacies yet, but can we clap it up for one of the most wild plays of all time yesterday? How about Murray State covering while getting no hit? Sure we can.
So much heart.
That does not happen often.
No. I don't know.
That does not happen often.
Ever has happened.
Cola's asking, what will I do if Senzatella shoves tonight? Nothing. I mean, there's a chance that it happens. And that's averaging 2 runs a game over the last 2 weeks. So
The real
certainly a
goat,
chance.
the real goat was Murray State's starting pitcher. I think his last name was Silva.
Yeah, he locked in.
Oh yeah,
He
was dialed, squeaking out of.
He
I guess
locked.
he was dominant for a while, but then had a bunch of. He had like 3 different situations where he left multiple runners on base to close the inning.
Yeah,
It was sweaty. It was sweaty. Wouldn't have it any other way though. What a beast. Keeping us in it. No runs, no problem. No hits, no problem. Insane. Absolutely insane. All right, guys. Appreciate the hype train. Looks like that thing is still aloof, actually, at level 4. We got 2 minutes left. Sure. Feel free to get involved, chat. Appreciate you guys hopping in on a Tuesday afternoon. Looking forward to the slate. Looking forward to going over some winners for you guys today. We've got Dinger Tuesday. We've got MLB plays. We've got the Stanley Cup, WNBA. We got plenty to talk about today. Plenty. Jovan, any comments on recaps or yesterday? You want to move on to today's winners? You ready?
Yeah, I don't have much else. I don't think.
Cool. Let's move. Let's groove. Gootsy, if you don't mind, let's get that sharp report up and moving. I'm ready to go over some plays and some winners for today. Okay. Get it started out with an over, a nasty over. I guess it can't really be that nasty when it's in the Great American Small Park, but I mean, Abbott has been debatably one of the best pitchers in baseball this season, even if that means pitching in the Great American Small Park, right? Kyle Finnegan, bang. And there it is. What are you guys fucking talking about? We got Nate Bieri coming in with 5 subbies. Let's fucking go, dudes.
Yeah, you know what they're talking about with and there it is, Krabs. It's the last play there.
And there it is, folks. Yep. All I had to hear was Skinner was going back in net. I've already seen it as Skinner shutout for tonight, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Hold your horses. Hold your horses for a sec. Level 5 hype train because Nate Bieri is him. He's keeping the hype train moving, and he's keeping the hype train grooving. 4.5 minutes left. Sure we can. Level 5. W's. We don't want to hear any other sell job. Just skip to the last. Z.
You might have to start there.
Skinner back in net. He's been thinking about this game the last 72 hours, probably, maybe longer, since before he even got benched in the previous game, right? Dude probably hasn't slept in a fucking week. Goalies are freaks. They're like pitchers in baseball, right? These guys are weirdos. They're wired a little bit differently in the brain. And I got a pretty good feeling about Skinner after getting benched again in this postseason. I think he comes out on his head tonight. Feel much better with my coins on this under. Much, much better with Skinner in net. Significantly better. Give it another shot. Because the other guy just simply wasn't cutting it. He's rat shit. At least Skinner might be high risk, high reward, but there's a chance. And the fact that he got announced in net, Jovan, and the total just keeps on creeping down, huh? Minus 120 to that under now. A day or two ago, it was minus 110 both ways. It's not bet related. Weird. Well, people would say this is probably the stupidest time to take an under on the ice. Backs against the wall for the Oilers, right? If they lose this game, it's over. You can make an argument they're going to pull their goalie with 10 minutes left. Who knows what's going to happen? Depends on how many goals they're fucking down. And you know they're comeback kings. Have they even started a fucking game with a lead or had a lead in the series at all? I don't even think so. They're the comeback kings.
Briefly.
So on paper, this looks like the worst wager of all time. And that's why I love it so much, folks. That's why I love it so much. Nobody's betting it. Nobody's taking it. I will. I'll be a martyr. Front lines. Solo dolo.
It's pretty much just a
Me
Skinner
that
bet.
under.
So that's
Yeah, it's
probably
pretty much
your
just
only.
Skinner. It's pretty much just Skinner going out there and having a legacy start.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I mean that's your only path to anything. Because I mean, if it's
Yep.
a Bob legacy game, then you're getting early polls and all that's going to happen. And if the Panthers win,
Yep.
it's a terrible script. So it's pretty much just Oilers ML and Skinner to be dialed in. That's your
Yep.
script. Which I'm in on.
Yep. Joey, I did not hear no bell. That's a fact. Krabs is a spite play. It sure as hell might be, Dead Larry Bird. Assuming. It sure as hell might be. But Skinner back in net, we got a chance. Oilers backs against the wall. This team does not take leads often. This team is a comeback king. This is how they play. It's the script set up perfectly for the Oilers and Connor McDavid. Get it done. Get it done. And Skinner, wake the fuck up. Get those crusties out of your eyeballs. Make some saves. Make some plays. And hey, nobody's talked about this, but how about the Oilers defense helping out too? How about they make a fucking play? Huh?
Yeah. Maybe
Seriously, they haven't made a single play all fucking series.
maybe the defense can actually be decent in the first period for once and not
that'd be
leave
cool.
their goalie out to dry, no matter if it's been Skinner or Picard. They've just been god awful in front of them every first period.
Bob and Skinner, what could possibly go wrong, huh? Yeah, we're going to need limited penalties. Have a feeling if they do get penalties called, they might be in the Oilers' favor, keeping this series alive. Who knows? Let's keep the penalties at a minimum.
Yeah,
Please.
definitely need to stay out of the box, even though, I don't know, the Panthers get OKC calls sometimes where the Panthers should probably be called for a lot more than they are, which wouldn't be good for the under, but would be good for the Oilers.
Okay. You hate Judge, right, Krabs? McDavid is basically Judge in the playoffs. Don't waste your money. Well, if that's the case, then I guess nobody's scoring tonight because the only person that has a fucking chance to is McDavid and the Oilers. So, and I do agree with you as well. Dude goes ghost mode more often than not in the postseason, much like a big fella we know on the Diamonds. Yep. Pretty good comp. Let's hope that's not the comp tonight. Okay? Give me the under on the ice. I did not hear no bell. A responsible wager.
Sure.
All right. Line Shopper in the YouTube says, I'm sorry to say, Krabs, the game is going over today. Ah, shit. All right, go ahead and cancel the show.
Cancel it.
Cancel the show.
We're done here.
Anybody got the commissioner's phone number? I'll give him a call real quick. Oh, thank you, Jovan. Yep. I'll call the commissioner real quick, and they'll go ahead and cancel the game tonight. It's already done. Game's over. Panthers won 5-2. It's over. Hype train is also over, level 5. We'll take a level 5 on a Tuesday afternoon. Sure we can, chat. Sure we can. Chat, did not hear no bell. Let's move, let's groove. I want to hear Jovan's first straight bet of the day today. What do you got?
Speaking of Aaron Judge, how about the Yankees?
I just don't get it. What
do you mean you just don't get it?
Some teams should be left to the side. And
They should not be left to the side. Not today. Don't have it in you. They don't have it in Nate. And knock on wood, it has gone good. I feel like I don't know, maybe adopted some of your powers when it comes to betting the Yankees, but when I've put them on here, and a lot of the time it's just been their offense has gone pretty well, even when they've been part of the squad ride a couple of times. And now they have been absolutely horrid, just god awful. They have, I think it's 5 runs in their last 5 games, and 3 of those came in a singular game. They got shut out back-to-back games, including last night in 11 innings. And now I'm staring at the Prize Picks board, and we have a square for Kyle Hendricks for 3.5 earned runs, which Kyle Hendricks he gives up runs, he gives some damage. He's been a steady pitcher as of late, just classic Kyle Hendricks form, but he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been horrible. The fact that we're seeing a 3.5 up for a team who just got shut out, like I said, in back-to-back games, 11 innings, they've been on this whole streak where they've been god awful, and now the Rays are 2.5 games back, which is another conversation. But the Yanks have been horrible. The bats have been horrible. And after last night, they don't come around often. And by they, I mean 3.5 earned run squares, normal squares that are not in cores / just the Rockies in general against some much better team, or prime Patrick Corbin from the last couple of years. You don't see those too often. And the fact that you're getting it now, I think, is incredibly telling. So now I think the Yankees, they have a great matchup against Kyle Hendricks. They've been really good against a lot of these pitchers that are the softer tossing righties that don't have elite command at this point, which Kyle Hendricks is fine in that aspect, but not enough to avoid a lot of these teams that have a lot of these power hitters, whether it's not just Judge, but all the Bellies and Jazzes of the world too, that are lefties with pop, especially with the short porch that I think are going to cause some problems. So feels like the script is all there. So I don't have single bit of hesitation going to it, especially when I think Will Warren is going to pitch pretty well on the other side too. So rare Yankees run line at home backing.
Yeah, nothing like taking a run line for a home team, huh?
Yeah, and again, knock on wood, but remember the last time we did it, and it also happened to be the Yanks?
Yeah, it worked.
Goated. Freed masterclass.
I knocked. Hate the play, but I knocked. And I trust it. Good sell job. You know I'm never going to like a Yankee play. Be weird if I did.
Of course. Of course.
Be weird if I did. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving, folks. W. Lancer in the chat. Good to see you lurking. And yeah, W. Sade Whiteman again coming in here, blessing up with some subs. You're him. You're him. All right. Easy puck. Good to see you, Beast. Chewy's on the Nats, -1.5. Chewy, dudes. No. Chewy, give it a rest, bro. Just let him leave him off to the sides. No need to take him. No need to take him. All right. Swinging around for me, Gutsy. Let's talk about this over in the Great American Small Park. Festa has some interesting squares up there we'll talk about in a little bit. Hits allowed, earn runs, making me feel like the Reds are going to put up a couple. I want to fade Abbott as well in this park. He is so due for a stinker of a start. And with the Twins coming off a couple losses in a row, don't necessarily want to back them to win this game, although I wouldn't be shocked if they did. Just want to back some runs. And Jovan, I was pretty shocked to see this total sitting at 9. I know it's in a hitter-friendly park. But with Abbott involved, this total sitting at 9 looked a hair high to me, especially considering the Twins' recent games. I mean, they've been an under machine the last couple. I mean, they're coming off of a 1-2 game. Before that, it was 2-3 against the Astros. I mean, it was in a very, very pitcher-friendly environment at Houston. We know that, right? You don't want to be taking overs very often down there. So I want to fade that narrative. I want to back some offense here, buy low on the Twins offense with their backs against the wall, coming off a couple losses, going to a hitter-friendly ballpark and hitter-friendly environment against a lefty who is probably the most due for regression out of any starting pitcher in baseball, Andrew Abbott. Bless his heart. Dude's good, but eventually the dude's going to get mucked up, and I'm seeing it today. Looking at this total at 9 and looking at the splits, I'm seeing runs from both sides, though. It's not just going to be Andrew Abbott regressing with that 1.87 ERA. Insane to see that, by the way. Insane.
Pretty crazy.
If he throws another gem, I'll tip cap. But tonight I've got a weird vibe. We're getting runs early, often, frequent, and throughout the entirety of this game. Give me the over 9. Give me runs. The splits look good. Who the hell wants to back it over with the way the Twins offense has looked in that last series and with Andrew Abbott on the bump? Nobody. That's exactly where we want to be.
Have to be. Have to be. I know there's a couple places, I guess, with W hitting weather today. It's one of them. It's probably why the total's a little high. I don't know if I'm fully sold on Abbott getting mucked, but I think the Reds can muck. And that would be great. Great for the offense. Great for some runs.
All right. All right. Well, yeah, we're going to talk about a square in this game in a little bit, I believe. Oh, no, we're not. I actually ended up going a different angle, but there are a couple squares up here that made me feel like it's probably going to be Festa, the guy getting mucked up the most. We're just going to get a couple runs off of Andrew Abbott, Jovan. Maybe it's not 5 or 6. Maybe it's 2 or 3, and we see Festa carry the weight here. He's got, of course, the board's loading super slow. That 4.5 hits allowed square after pitching pretty darn well against the Rangers. His fantasy score is not super high. He's got that 2.5 earned runs allowed square that he's gone less than in 4 of his last 5 outings. So some good squares up there that make me think Festa will get mucked up. I'm with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Very in on that. Plus the Reds are just starting to see him, Krabs. People are talking. They might be starting to make the run.
Yeah. If that's the way I'm squaring up today, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Back in the Reds bats to stay hot. Sure.
Love that.
All right. Goots, swing it around. I want to see Jovan's next straight bet. What are we cooking?
Go ahead and get some runs up and moving. Big
Wow.
old Steinbrenner, which I was kind of hoping, because I had it in my head I was going to go here to the second game. I was hoping that game found a way to sneak under yesterday, but and it did. It ended 7-1, so it went under the 8.5 there. Now we have 9.5 total. Another one of these stadiums with hot weather, and the wind is blowing out ever so slightly, which in Steinbrenner with no upper deck and being the most wind-affected park matters a lot, as little as it is. So the thing is, as good as Zach Littell has been, who's been on the mound today, he's given up 21 home runs, which I believe is second among all qualified starters, or it might be first at this point, but it's in the very least in the top 3. So he's had his fair share of issues. Even when he has a really good start, he's given up his fair share of home runs, which is a problem, not only in that park with the weather, but also being that you have a couple of these lefties that are going to give him a lot of trouble, whether it's Gunnar, whether maybe Adley starts to get hot and hits another unicorn, maybe it's O'Hearn, maybe it's a lot of these guys, even like the righties, like Westberg, I think can take him yard today too. But I think this is a problem. So like even if he has a really good start, quality start, 3 of those are probably going to be solo shots off the Orioles. And then Dean Kramer, same like relative story. His home run problems aren't nearly as bad, but he's really bad against lefties, who's absolutely seeing beach balls for the Rays right now, which, I mean, you could say that about a lot of the lineup, but Josh Lowe, Brandon Lau, Jonathan Aranda, who God knows how he's not going to be the all-star starter because fan voting is ridiculous, but seeing absolute beach balls right now. They can throw out a multitude of matchups with that lineup that are a incredible matchup disaster waiting to happen for Dean Kramer. So add that onto the fact that the bullpen, I don't think for the Orioles really matches up well with the Rays either, no matter who they throw out there. I think this is turkeys often, early, and a lot of home runs, especially in that park today.
Scott Quaid says 2 words, runs. Just locked in the over in Cincy and in Steinbrenner. Sure.
Shout out
W's.
Stein.
Shout
Good.
out Scott Quaid.
Give me one Oriole.
O'Hearn.
Wow, I kind of like that.
And you're tripping the bullpen, but Colin Shelby came in and struck out 5 in 2 innings yesterday.
Yeah, but you know what that means? It's
What's that mean?
That means he ain't pitching today.
Yeah, it does. You're right. That's what it means.
Good seem to be shot. It's not Lamar season. It's June. Back to Pick says. Okay.
I think that's Dave.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Quick reminder, it's Lamar. Yeah, because Dave wants me to move on and just worry about Lamar. That's what Dave wants me to do, but I can't do it yet.
You should do it. You should absolutely do it.
You might have to move.
Nope, not moving yet.
Yeah. All right.
You got Lamar doing movie photo shoots, man.
When you start seeing the Ravens hats and the calls, that's when you know.
We should have been there a month ago, Goots.
No, not there.
A month ago.
We're 11-3 since May 30th.
And you are also 11 games under 500.
Krabs, if the Nats were 11-3 since May 30th, you would bring it up.
It's great, but it should not be brought up.
I'm just saying. I gotta have some wins here.
Yeah. Well, you could talk about maybe the draft. Maybe getting a new prospect. You can focus on that. Yep. Well, cannot believe I fell for it and took the bait last night and had the eyes on the ML. What are we doing?
Bad program, man. Bad program.
Well, luckily today all we need is runs.
Runs.
2 words, chat, runs.
At least they can hit some unicorns. We'd love that.
Right. Billy the Kid said Brady House is going yard today. I bet. Still looking for that first hit. Yeah, he's tall. Yeah. You know, he used to play shortstop. Moved into the third. He's got a really good glove. He could be a Gold Glover there one day. We'll see. He made a great play last night. Didn't get a hit, though. Maybe tonight he gets off the schneid. Gets his first knock.
Would hope
and yeah,
so.
Goots, he's got some power, bro. He's got some pop. Big reason why they called him up. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. Love talking Nats. Hate talking O's. Yep. Look, W over. Jovan, we'll come back to that over on the bottom right sector. Gootsy, swing it around for me. How about the Braves?
Bravos.
First time these teams are playing this season. Who's making the schedules? We're 75 games in. First time the Mets and the Braves are playing this year? What, are they going to play half their games against each other the rest of the season? I guess that's cool. Some rivalry games, big-time NL East games, but kind of weird. I don't know. Thought that was a interesting trend. The Mets coming off of getting swept by your Rays. Impressive.
Good
and
series.
Also that 9-0 shutout in that last game. Good thing I had the under 8.5. Can't make it up. What do we do in baseball with streaks? A little reminder for the peeps. Anybody know? What do we do with streaks? We either lean into them. We don't fade them. That's for sure. We lean into them. We expect them to continue because it's baseball.
Is that a streak, though?
Well, it's a mini streak.
I think
3
that's
L's
just,
in a row.
I think that's just the Rays being goaded.
Maybe it's just the Rays being goaded. Sure. Well, I think their streak of L's continues. And the hottest team in baseball continues to cool off tonight. And I think the first matchup between the Braves and the Mets this season, you see the Braves get a W. Give me the Braves on the ML. Schwellenbach coming off a gem, but not as much of a gem as David Peterson, who, by the way, was giving high fives and handshakes after that complete game shutout against the Nats like he just won the fucking World Series. That might have been his first complete game of his career. He was acting like it. Somebody check the data. Might have been. Automatically have to fade David Peterson after that shit. And taking the Atlanta Braves, who are minus 135, look, it would have been one thing if they were a pick 'em. Getting some respect at home, getting some line respect because we know the Braves are underperforming and they're better than this, right? But minus 135, 8 games under 500 against one of the best teams in baseball? Weird, especially considering they had the pitching advantage. Peterson looking like he's him, the most dialed in he's been in his entire career. So something feels off here. I want to back the home squad and ride with the Braves tonight in Atlanta to get a big-time statement win. When they've had a down year so far, this game just simply means more. I think the Mets are a little fat, happy, complacent right now. I think we can get a win against the Mets and Juan Soto, catch them lacking on the roads. After that sweep in Tampa, their woes continue. Give me the Braves on the ML.
Yeah, rare game. I don't know how many times this has happened. Definitely recently, but in all of baseball too, where you've got two pitchers pitching against each other off of a complete game. I don't know how
Super
often
weird.
that happens, but that is odd. I'm shocked this over didn't make your card.
Yeah, I thought about it. But I just want to back Braves runs and the Braves. A little worried that
Fair.
Schwellenbach deals, to be completely honest with you, even after a complete game. A little
Yeah.
worried.
Josh
We'll go with
Weinbach,
the ML.
who got that. I think he only gave up 1 run, right? Or he gave up 2. You know who one of those was courtesy of Krabs?
Who?
A Reese Hoskins nuke.
Sure we can.
Actually,
He
I
hits
think
nukes
Reese.
at the randomest times.
Most random times. Yeah, it's like I don't even get it at this point, which is why I'm trying to lean into it when I guess the randomness would make the least sense.
Matt Gauthier said, I'm surprised this over didn't make Jovan's cards.
So
I can
close.
tell he likes it.
So close. Problem is, I feel like one of these guys is just going to be him. I mean, I'm hoping for Krabs' sake it ends up being Schwellenbach. We're probably not getting both to toss turkeys.
No. I doubt it. These guys are having a year. They're dialed in. You can only ask for so much. I think the Mets offense stays cool. And we squeak in a win here with the Braves. All right? You got another straight bet here for the peeps?
I do. How about
Right.
going right back to this Dodgers over Krabs, which should have hit for you last night.
Dude, I can't believe it, man.
Yeah, that was absolute moose piss. Really hated to see that for you. But first of all, Randy Vasquez playing the Dodgers makes plenty of sense. He's been, I guess, at times a lot better than he should have been all year. As of late, I mean, he's looked a little bit more like Randy Vasquez, but I mean, last few starts, he's been relatively solid, just not racking up like strikeouts, whiffs, or anything of note, but he's only given up the 1 run. And the last start happened to be against the same Dodgers lineup. So now that you're seeing this lineup for the second time again, he's got a 14.5 fantasy score, which again, Dodgers tax is baked in a lot. And the fact that he doesn't get strikeouts or really go that long is baked in a lot. But 14.5 fantasy score with a 14.5 outs line, objectively hilarious. But being the fact that he's a guy who doesn't produce many whiffs, I will fade any pitcher who doesn't produce many whiffs and has like a big time split problem when you face that team 2 times in a row. Helps that it's the Dodgers and that lineup that has Shohei and Mookie Freddie, obviously, and the rest of the gang. But I think this is it's a disastrous matchup, just like it was last start, but it also comes back again, and I think they're going to hit them even harder. And I think looking at the lines today with the Dodgers, God knows what their plan is going to be pitching-wise because their bullpen's in shambles. They're going to have some sort of like opener bulk guy lineup today, and we really don't know exactly what it's going to end up being, but the fact that they're minus 200 in this game is just insane. Minus 220 now. Now, we don't get 10 totals very often in West Ravine either, and I think that's incredibly telling that it's even higher. Again, not that it doesn't make sense because of the pitching situations on both sides, not just the Dodgers' whole bullpen situation, but the fact we're getting a 10 total with them minus 200, the Dodgers are going to score some runs, but certainly don't want to let this Padres team, who I think is starting to heat up, like we talked about yesterday, at least offensively, don't want to leave them out of it. Tatis, I think it's 4 straight games now with multiple hits. He's back beachside, seeing beach balls, and This rest of this lineup, I think, is going to hit him up really hard. And I feel like there's one of these big time back and forth games, just like, what was it? The first game of last series where I took the over and it was just crazy from the start, back and forth, a lot of offense. I think we got to get one of those in this series. And looking at the pitching matchups, I think this one means or looks, I guess, the most apparent to do so. So I think this is another one where we get a lot of runs early.
High total. After yesterday's push, it's even higher. Doesn't hurt that we got Vasquez on the bump either. Dude stinks. I still cannot get over the fucking pitching outs and fantasy score at the same number. It's unbelievable.
It's so funny.
I've never seen anything like it. That's a first.
Yeah. Really, really funny.
We got Coastal KC coming in resubbing.
Shout out Coastal. I assume you're going to get like Matt Sauer for a little bit at some point. I don't know who's going to be like scheduled around him, the pitch around him as far as the bullpen game goes, but he's bad. And he also just saw this team too. So like the same principles kind of apply.
Okay. Good to see Prime in the chat. Good to see Geek Goot in the chat. Geek Goot. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. I want to talk about some prize pick squares. Jovan crafted up a sharp report for-man. Hopefully none of the squares have gotten taken off today, like yesterday, and hopefully we can cash a 10xer tonight. Okay.
Sure.
Jovan, I'm putting all my eggs in this fading David Peterson basket.
Wow.
Yep. You peeped that chart today?
I saw it. Yeah.
Weird looking. Legally obligated after that World Series shutout against the Nats. He was doing cartwheels and backflips off the mound afterwards. He was dapping up his catcher and acting like he was him. It was actually hilarious, to be honest with you. I'm like, dude, you shut up the Nats, who are the most toxic, worst team in baseball right at this second. Bless their hearts. Actually, don't even bless their hearts right now. They stink. Jesus. What's up, Asada? Good to see you lurking in the YouTube. Okay. But yeah, Jovan, I cannot stay off this. Had pretty good luck with these earned run squares so far this season. This is not one of those ones that's super juicy to the over on the books, but I cannot resist it, Jovan. Just the fact that this one's up looks a little bit off to me. Considering the Braves have been struggling so far this season, David Peterson's coming off that shutout where, not even debatably, that's probably his best start of his career. That was
probably is
incredible. Not even the results, but I was watching it because I watch every Nats game like a bozo. Unhittable. Incredible. It wasn't just the Nats stinking. Peterson had his fucking A stuff. He was great. It was both. So legally obligated to fade him after that legacy start. Maybe he comes in a hair, fat, happy, and complacent in this outing on the road after that shutout against the Nats. Taking that more than 2.5 earned runs allowed in the game we like runs. Let's hope they mainly come from the Braves tonight. Okay? And then Seth Lugo. Jovan, Seth Lugo is coming off an absolute gem piece against the Yankees, I believe. And today, for some reason, he's getting disrespected on prize picks against the Rangers. Well, don't let the Rangers get hot, Jovan. It might be too late. 4 in a row. Somebody call Wendy's. 4 for 4. And the Royals are struggling, man. Struggling. I think they've lost like 5 or 6 games in a row. Brutal. They can't fucking hit, but we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about the Rangers bats as they continue to get up and moving and grooving and improve. Couldn't get much worse for the Rangers bats, considering how they looked early on the season, fired their hitting coach, changes have been made. And Jovan, seeing this total on the way up, considering both teams' recent games, Rangers are coming off a series against the White Sox where 2 of the 3 games went under. Snooze fests. The Royals are coming off of 2 straight unders and 3 unders in their last 4 games and only 2 runs in their last 2 games combined. And we're seeing the total in this game moving up from 8 to 8.5. What the hell?
Yeah.
Runs are coming. I'm seeing them off of Lugo. Love seeing the Rangers catch steam as well in this spot. I think their bats look solid enough over the last couple games, and seeing Leiter as a favorite over Lugo tells me Lugo's given up 6 hits. Maybe more. Sure.
Yeah. I'm in on that. Kind of like the Rangers, but that's a streak versus reeling situation. So I didn't want to get caught in that.
Well, in baseball, you can a little bit.
Sometimes,
not every time.
You just got to pick your spots. And I
pick
can
your
definitely
spots,
do without betting on the Rangers as one of those spots.
100%. Pick your spots. But hey, I'd rather take the Rangers tonight than take the fucking Nats. Right?
I'd rather take Golden State Valkyries than take the Nats.
Okay. Good. Who would win, Salisbury baseball team or the Nats?
Salisbury run line.
Yeah, Salisbury around line there.
Salisbury probably cover.
Yep.
At least right now.
Yeah.
God damn it. They do have a solid ball club.
They do.
Yep. All right, Nats fans. Hashtag thank you, Jovan, for taking them last series. Sure we can.
Let's go.
Sure we can. What's up, fellas? W.S. D'Amico. Yep. Golden State Valkyrie is a solid name. Yeah, I fuck with it. I like their uniforms as well. Sure. I like it. All right, let's keep moving to grooving. Jovan, I want to hear your sell jobs for your Prize Pick squares as I drop the link to the Sharp Report 4-man in the chat.
Yeah, you got your eggs in the Braves versus Peterson basket. I've got my eggs in the Yanks versus Kyle Hendricks basket, which, I mean, I've talked about it a lot, so I don't need to reiterate it too much, but Yanks have scored 4 runs in 4 games, and 0 of those were in the last 2. Why are we getting a 3.5 earned run square, normal square? That's minus 115 on both sides on the books as well for Kyle Hendricks tonight. It's because the Yanks are going to destroy him. And I will say, you did point this out, and you were right, like yesterday, and I kind of realized that as we were throughout the day. The Yankees squares were incredibly odd, which Jose Soriano, he was coming off a gem, but like he also gets a lot of weird squares that are not really in his favor, both like regular pitching squares and hitter squares. So like yesterday was quite the opposite. Like Judge was up for normal 1.5 HR, as well as like a lot of the lineup and a lot of lineup redeeming. So it was very, very odd, I guess, the way that unfolded. And the more I saw that throughout the day, and you're right, I'm thinking they weren't going to score very much. And now it looks very, very different. Obviously, Soriano is not Hendricks. Hendricks has been a lot worse, and Soriano has been actually really good and was coming off of a great start. But the fact that there is such a difference in the board, I think, tells all, and especially being that it's off of an 11-inning shutout, and the Yankees haven't scored a run in 20 games. This is just one of the – I see the square. I love the matchup. I can't overthink it. Has to be in there. He's giving up 4. Might give up 6.
Okay.
Then Jacob Wilson is kind of a funny one, Krabs. Do you?
I'm happy.
Yeah, you saw that last night, that post by the MLB?
Let the people know what's good with that. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, if you paid attention to baseball, you probably know the beat the streak game that people used to play all the time. I used to play it all the time with my friends, and I'm sure a lot of you guys did too. You got to pick a different player to get a hit every day, try to beat the 57-game streak. And the MLB made a post yesterday that some guy was on 50, I think it was, and God knows he picked Jacob Wilson and he went over. So he's splooging today. He actually like had a hit last night. It was like a pop-up that dropped, but there was somebody on first and he got forced out at second. So like that's not technically a hit, even though he got forced out from the outfield. But beside the point, he's going to splooge today. But also this is like a weird bullpen game for the Astros. I don't know how long they're going to let Alexander go, but like they've called him up. He used to be on the A's. He's been on a bunch of teams at this point, but he's a reliever that I don't really know how long he's going to be able to go, but he also lives in the zone. He's going to have to go a little longer than I think they'd want him to. He lives in the zone, does not have great strikeout stuff, and there's a reason why he's been flopping back and forth between a bunch of teams at this point. There's a reason why the A's couldn't even make him of somewhat use to them. It's just because he lives in the zone way too much, and a lot of that's not even with his fastball. It's with his off speed that hangs in the middle of the zone, which for a guy like Jacob Wilson, that's what he's been living on for years, it seems like. And the problem is, I guess for the A's as a whole, they hit a lot of ground balls. So like he's a big ground ball pitcher. So that's not great, I guess, for the A's. But Jacob Wilson is like the only guy that those ground balls actually result in hits. So like this is kind of a perfect matchup for him. So I think he's getting multiple hits tonight, and knock on wood too. And Jacob Wilson has gone over really all season, but like especially as of recent, which hasn't been very many times because he's been on a ridiculous streak, usually bounces back with a pretty solid game. A lot of those include multiple hits.
Super in. I feel like we're legally obligated to just take Jacob Wilson after he fucked over that guy on the beat the streak.
Yeah, kind of.
Also, cannot let it get forgotten. I mean, getting to 50.
Yeah, getting to 50 is crazy.
Is insane. I've never heard of anybody getting anywhere close to 50.
I remember we were in middle school, like summer camp, playing the game, and we would splooge when we were getting to like 20. That was like the coolest thing ever.
Come up with the 57 number? Were they just like, yeah, this is the number that nobody's ever going to get?
No, the hit streak, Krabs. Longest hit streak in baseball history.
Yeah, 57?
Yeah.
That might have been dumbest question of all time. It's literally called beat the streak. Okay. Well, let's move. Let's groove. All right. I did lock in the Sharp Report format, and I'm going to drop the link right here in the chat. Bada bing, bada boom. It's on the way. And maybe we could talk about the ice. Let's go look at some splits on the ice, if you don't mind, Gootsy. Oh, Dinger Tuesday.
How could
sure.
you forget?
Keep me honest, Goots. We got some Dinger Tuesday plays. Let me drop this Sharp Report format in here. Let me drop it. And there it is. Boom. I like my Dinger Tuesday plays today, and I never like my Dinger Tuesday plays. So let's talk about them. Yep. Probably because I didn't pick any crazy ones today. Got all guys in that plus 300 threshold. Got Austin Riley plus
Seager's
330.
pretty crazy.
Well, yeah.
Seager
pretty
needs
crazy
to
seeing the
be
odds.
Seager needs to be shot in GTA.
Yep. He's terrible, but he's hitting a home run today. He's helping that game probably go over and helping the Rangers win and probably getting one of those 6 hits off of Lugo, hopefully. But start with Austin Riley, plus 330. He's got an interesting total bases square up there on Prize Picks. Jovan thought that was a pretty good sign. He has not been piping hot. And he had some of the shortest odds in this game to hit a nuke. I think it could be his night. Maybe hitting one off the lefty. David Peterson. I'll go with Austin Riley, plus 330. Thought his odds would be around the plus 400s, considering he has not been the biggest power threat for the Braves so far this season. Looking at all the guys on the green book, you can kind of see the odds along with how many home runs they've hit this season. He hasn't hit a ton, but he was up there at the top of the odds. So go with Austin Riley here at plus 330 in a game where I like runs, in a game I like the Braves, and I like his matchup, plus 330. Corey Seager might be a little bit of a tougher sell. He's been ice cold. Oof,
He sucks.
Terrible. He sucks. Well, one way to get him going today, that's hitting the ball over the fucking fence. Plus 340. He should be plus 600, dude. Plus 340, maybe I'm taking the bait, but again, in a game I like the over, in a game I like the Rangers, I'll back their goat to get going. It's about that time of the year where the veteran starts turning things around. I think he hits one over the fence, plus 340. I'll lock that in. And then Max Muncy, he's seen the ball pretty darn well of late. Ever since he got those rec specs, been a different hitter. And plus 340, he had a couple shots in the gap last night. I know he had a big-time single to bring in a couple runs. I think he elevates one today in a game where we love runs and a matchup made in heaven for Max Muncy against Vasquez. He can get to him. Love seeing him at plus 340. Some of the shortest odds in the game to hit a nuke.
Sure.
Thoughts?
It's an interesting list, Krabs.
Yeah.
Incredibly interesting list. Seager does need to be shot in GTA. If you're the one to break it open and get him a nuke, you're actually in the hall. Actually in the hall. Unbelievable. But yeah, Max Muncy, I feel like, has been one of your mainstays that hits all the time.
Yeah, Max Muncy's come through for us.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Goated.
Locking him in. All right, what do you got, Jovan?
Well, so we can talk about this game too a little bit later, but I thought it was odd. Some of it's weather induced because it's hot and windy. But I was interested because my goat Shane Smith is on the bump for the White Sox, and this is like the first day I've ever looked at the line and said, "Oh, he's actually getting shown some respect by the bookmakers here." Line's incredibly short, but you know it doesn't match up with that. The total's moving up, which again, a little bit of that has to do with the weather. But the line keeps moving towards the White Sox, and the total keeps moving up. I think Liberatore, who this is like, I guess would make sense for him to have a bounce back outing, because I think every time a pitcher has a couple bad starts and he goes in and pitches against the White Sox, the Rockies, the Marlins, any of these bottom of the barrel teams, everybody just kind of assumes that happens to be the case. He's given up 5 and 7 runs and 5 in like the 3 last starts before this one. But I think it's a spot for Lubob, because Lubob is having one of the weirdest seasons maybe of all time. He's hitting below the Mendoza line, but he's hitting a incredibly respectable like 260 against lefties, and then he's also like leading the league, I think, still in stolen bases. Like he's still getting on base, but he hasn't really had many home run opportunities against lefties that can actually give it up. Like Liberatore, I think, is that guy today. And I don't know. I have a funny feeling in my gut about the White Sox in this game today. And I think it has to be on the back of a couple of these bats against them. You can make the argument for like Vargas, who's seen beach balls, or like any of these hitters that are coming up towards the bottom. But I want Lubob in the spot. It feels like a sneaky spot for him against a lefty. I'm in. I think he starts to boost his trade value today. But going with him, then we were going to back the narrative that whenever Rhys Hoskins, it doesn't make any bit of sense for him to go yard. He does, but
Yep.
kind of, I guess, does in the sense of leaning into that because, like we were talking about, he's been actually really bad against these softer tossing guys, which I don't understand, especially for a guy that strikes out as much as he does. Because, like, against the Sonny Grays, against the Palantes, even like from the left-handed side, when he faces those slower, or softer tossing guys, he's been bad. But when he faces these higher velocity pitchers as of late, that have like much better strikeout stuff, he's hit the ball hard. He's hit the ball farther. That's why I like he hit a home run against Schwellenbach on a fastball. I think that he turned off 95 low and in. So like, I don't know if this is deliberate, like he's coming in with a much different approach when it comes to these higher velocity, higher strikeout guys, but I want to lean into it, especially today when you're getting, I don't know, a pitcher and Men Brown who's been incredibly fantastic as of late. And the more I've watched him, the more I've grown to appreciate him after the last couple starts. But I think you're going to see Rhys turn on a fastball and send it really far today. I think you're going to get a lot of runs from that game in all likelihood today. So I'm in on Rizzy Rhys, then finished off with Jeremy Pena in a ballpark that's probably going to have some runs today. Again, another good weather spot. Game soared under yesterday. JP Sears has seen a lot of this lineup, even though it's very different. They've seen a lot of this lineup plenty of times, and Jeremy Pena is one of the guys that's not only seen beach balls, but hitting just under 400 against lefties. You get the benefit of that little short porch in left field that I think he can utilize too. So I knew the Astros are probably going to bust after taking their team total yesterday, and they had a base runner in every single inning, and none of them scored except the leadoff home run in the first by Altuve. Probably going to splooge today. Got to get involved some way. This is my way.
Love it. Let's get some more runs tonight in that game, huh? Please.
I mean, yeah. You know you're going to get it.
Yeah, I know. Probably a night off. All right. W plays, Jovan. You've been pretty dialed, knock on wood. Go with some value plays for Dinger Tuesday. Love it.
Sure.
All right. I'll take all the easy handouts. Plus 3 hundos. Surely that goes well.
I mean, you're taking Seager is so far from a handout
Not for the
anyway,
faint of heart.
Despite his super goat status or name, I guess not status.
Yep. All right. Chat saying no Devers love tonight, kind of soft. Thoughts on Devers and his Giants debut tonight?
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? Take a guy in his debut? I'm good.
Certainly not the Krabby way. Certainly not the BTL way.
Yeah.
No.
Kind of good on that. But, I mean, that game
Won't be fading him, though.
It makes sense with Saccone on the mound. It's just, I don't know what it is with Robbie Ray starts because, like, they win them. They just don't score when it happens. It's like they have DeGrom syndrome, but it doesn't quite bite them in the ass. It's weird. It's a 7 total in San Fran. So, like, I'm good.
All right. John's got a question. Does Judge get one tonight? Nope.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't.
He's
one. Cold. He's cold.
He gets one. It's just like with that game and like the Rays game, they're all ridiculous odds. So like, why would you take somebody to go yard? Judge is like plus 140 today.
Could be a good day to take the less than. Take him not
to. Could be a great day to take his walks.
Yeah. Well, good call yesterday on the walks. Get 2.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to do it again.
It's probably the same game plan.
And
you guys might have been on something. You and Gootsy talking about Coach Washington walking him a couple times. He did. He walked him twice.
Yeah, he walks the goats all the time. And you know what's going to happen? The guy who's sneakily, I've been watching his ABs, and he's looked fucking solid, demolishing the ball since he came back. Stanton's probably going to hit one to Pluto.
All right, Ron Muckington. I fucking bet Cola. I think Ron Muckington, our guy Ron Mucks, has a PLL Spaces tomorrow, by the way. I'll remind you guys tomorrow, but do me a favor. Tune into that tomorrow afternoon or night if you're around. Tell Ron I sent you. If you want to get all the deets for the PLL this weekend, Ron will get you right. The Spaces have been fire. I'm going to try to be there tomorrow as well. Okay? Dubs. Let's keep moving and grooving. There's Ron lurking. Let's fucking go, Ron. Stay hot, kid. Stay hot. All right. Jovan, let's go look at the ice. I'm going to go take a peep at some of the splits. Are people betting the under? Are people betting the over? What are they taking in this game? Let's take a look.
What do you think they're taking, Krabs?
Well, they're taking the over because it's hit every game this series, oi. Every game. Snacks, I'll be there on Saturday, Beast. PLL, boots on ground on Saturday. Unfortunately, will not be able to be there Sunday. Going to visit my sister on Sunday in San Diego's. First time. Should be fun. Okay. Will not be able to make it on Sunday to the PLL, unfortunately. But Saturday, I'll be there all fucking day. They're actually night games. 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern. So excited to get there. Boots on ground. No Redwoods play. No Redwoods game, unfortunately, this weekend. Jovan, they've got a bye. But 2 really good games. We'll talk about them more when we get closer to the weekends. Okay?
Yep.
Dubs. Sure we can. Yeah, easy puck. We got to link up on Saturday, bro. Sure. Does Jovan have anything in the 2 p.m. college baseball game?
No. I mean, I like Oregon State, but I'm not laying minus like 220 or whatever it is now.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. I want to take a peep at the baseball games. I just want to see what people are betting on the ice. Shocker, they're all taking the over. Let's go look at the diamond, huh? Let's talk about the games we have not gotten to yet today, Jovan. I want your non-biased thoughts on the Nats, and then we can move.
I mean, what do you want me to tell you here, Krabs?
On the game.
I know. It's like, do I think they should hit Senzatello? Like, absolutely. Like, they're minus 200. I would never recommend doing that.
Yeah. Maybe it's the over. Soroka's been moose shit. He might just be bad.
Moose.
I think they're free parlay piece.
Wow, Goots.
Wow.
You heard it here first, folks. No way you think they're a free lay piece, Goots. You're just saying that to jinx them.
Yesterday's game was demoralizing for that team.
Dude, that has to be rock bottom, right?
Dalen Lyle got his first home run. James Wood got involved. It was all looking up in D.C., and they got their hearts crushed by Kyle Finnegan.
Fight for old D.C.
And Hunter Goodman, who should be an all-star, by the way. If you're not voting for Hunter Goodman to be an all-star, you're an idiot.
I'll get right on that.
But yeah, I think they're winning tonight.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I think that every single night, every single game. So
well,
like,
you're unbiased.
Let's go, Gootsy.
Yep.
Sure we can. All right. I mean, they better fucking win at some point, or something bad's gonna happen. Somebody's getting fired. We'll see. Will they lose 10 in a row? We find out tonight, chat. God, it's crazy. We were just 3 games under 500. Oh, now look at them.
Yeah.
Brutal. All right, Jovan, thoughts on Luzardo versus Cal Quantrill?
$0.40 to Cal Quantrill.
Yep. That makes sense, right?
That's a lot.
That makes sense,
That's
right?
a lot, especially after Luzardo just got back and looked good.
Yeah.
Like, I guess a little more than good, I guess would be the way to put it.
Yeah.
Shocked to see that, especially against Cal. So, I mean, something's got to give there, whether it's
Something
just
has
an
to
under
give.
or maybe just a failed revenge game by Luzardo.
When everybody's talking about Zach Wheeler hanging him up in a couple years and Luzardo taking his spot in that rotation at the top of it after one good bounce back start, it's probably not going to go super well for Mr. Luzardo. But do I want to make it, my typical business to be fading him every 5 or so days? No. Dude's nasty. Yeah. But cannot ignore the steam towards the Marlins. 40 cents of steam in the spots. Come on. Phillies are on fire. Hottest streak of the season so far for the Phils. Now, do I want to get in the way of that streak? No. Reminder, don't fade streaks. But is it super fucking weird? And will I certainly stay off the back in the Phillies in any way today? Yeah. Looking at that steam towards Miami? Certainly. And it's Cal Quantrill pitching at home. You never know what's going to happen. Weird shit happens. When that guy takes the ball at home, don't care what team he's on, don't care what year it is. Weird.
Pretty weird.
He's weird. Yep. All right. What about Pittsburgh and Detroit? Kind of think Falter gets mucked up and Mize pitches well. Not a hot take. It's Detroit, much better team, and they're minus 200. Thoughts?
Yeah. Gut definitely told me on first look at this game that I wanted to back runs because
wow.
I think the Pirates might actually score in this game off of Mize. I'm not a big Casey Mize guy. He's been good so far this year, but he's also been incredibly fortunate. I think Tigers set up very, very well against Bailey Falter, and I think they can drill him if they so choose, and that would be great. Really great setup for them, especially the way they've been hitting lefties. But don't know if I believe in Mize either. I think Jolly might be raised, but I don't think that's going to come with a low-scoring game. I think to win this game, Jolly's probably going to have to score.
Okay. I'll tell you what worried me. It's that Casey Mize pitching out square that actually got bumped up in the last couple of minutes. It was at 17 earlier today, and I'm like, why is it at 17? It's at 17 and a half on the books. And now we're seeing it. The juice is actually closer to a pick 'em on the books for that. When it was actually way juicer to the under, it was like minus 130 earlier. And I was like, all right, maybe it's not that weird. The Prize Picks has it at 17 and not 17 and a half. Well, now the juice is minus 110, minus 115. And now on Prize Picks, it's up to 17 and a half. So my thought process was worried about runs if Casey Mize, who has not been great of late, is going, 6 innings? Must mean he's not getting mucked up that bad. That was kind of my thought process, but
yeah, you can go 6 and give up like 3.
3. Yeah, still get a quality start, but still give up a couple runs.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 6-3 Tigers if they win. Or it could be some miracle jolly 5-4 win.
Okay. All right. W's. Let's keep moving and grooving. I would love to talk about Brandon Pfaadt Day. You have a minute to talk about Brandon Pfaadt?
There's 2 things I've seen on Twitter this morning 5,000 times. It is PCA and it is fading Brandon Pfaadt.
Oh, God.
Which is, I don't really get the Pfaadt fade, to be honest. I don't know. It's really.
Well, I kind of like Pfaadt today, and I kind of like the under in this game.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. I don't know about the under, but the D-backs catching steam, especially because a lot of teams get respect or no team really gets respect against the Jays in Toronto. Felt incredibly odd. It's like Pfaadt had the good start against the Mariners, even though like he dodged trouble a lot in that start. He gave up 9 hits, but only ended up giving them 2 runs and didn't have many strikeouts. So 15 different ways we heard the backing Brandon Pfaadt to bounce back. Your way was the only way that actually hit in the earned runs, which was great. I don't know. Everybody's in love with fading him today, which I think might be a mistake.
Yeah, great sign. Music to my fucking ears. Maybe it's Arizona catching 15 cents of steam on the ML here. I certainly like the under in the game, but total is up from 8.5 to 9, although the under is juiced. We'll see where that ends up. Maybe it's just Arizona on the ML.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to back Brandon Pfaadt in the Big 2-5 after seeing what he's done in points this year? Probably not many.
I think people just look at the like John said in chat, the road ERA, which is, I mean, both of his are significantly skewed by this point because he's had like the 2 really bad road starts and he's been relatively solid outside of that, kind of pumping out. There's like 6-inning, 3-run type starts, and like the home ERA is the same thing. He had the Nat start, and other than that, he's been great. It's like, see the road ERA, I guess, and the fact that he's coming off of a good start at home and say he's automatically going to be Moose. I don't know if I see it.
Think he gets a win today? Buy your
Pfaadt
stock
too.
now, chat. Buy stock now.
It's kind of funny. Wins. He's got 8 wins.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Dude,
like he's
8-4.
I guess
he's got a decision in every start.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a obviously super inflated like 5.5 ERA, but 8 wins is hilarious.
Hilarious, bro. All right. W's. Arizona on the ML. What about St. Louis and Chicago? Liberatore versus Shane Smith, who is shoving.
Different Chicago.
Sorry, the White Sox? Yep.
Well, you said Milwaukee, Chicago first. Which one are we talking about?
Jesus. St. Louis and Chicago.
Sure.
Liberatore versus Shane Smith, your guy. And that's sub 2.5 ERA, bro.
The Big 2.
Insane. Now.
Proud member of the Big 2.
White Sox really struggling right now, dude.
Yeah.
Really struggling. Yep. It's not good. Don't want to really get in the way of that losing streak, but what are your thoughts on your guy, Shane Smith? You think he goes out there and shoves again?
I think he does all right. I think he does enough. Like we were talking about, like especially being the fact that the White Sox are on this pretty White Sox-like streak. Not that the Cardinals are this much better, but I've been looking at Shane Smith and Davis Martin, my two goats, every time they hop on the mound. And I'm always just kind of having to ignore the line because, like, they go out there and continue to pitch well. They're never getting market respect. Kind of getting it now. And that, along with the total moving up, even if it doesn't include Shane Smith throwing a gem, it might mean the White Sox bats are going to wake up a little bit against Liberatore, which I think happens. It's like I wouldn't be shocked if the White Sox win this game and score some runs, and maybe one or multiple of them come off the bat of Lou Bob.
All right. Your guy, Lou Bob. All right. We'll see if he comes through. Liberatore, can he keep getting away with it? He's starting to show that he's human overall in that 4 ERA. So
I just don't know if there's like a bounce back there for him. I just think he's starting to look like the pitcher he actually is.
Okay. All right. Certainly a good sign for the White Sox, seeing them catch some steam and only plus 120. Anytime you see the White Sox barely dogs, or God forbid they're a favorite, which really does not happen often, but if they're ever short dogs, typically a good sign. You probably don't want to be fading them, but wouldn't recommend backing them either. They're that bad.
I might recommend backing them today.
Wow.
I think I'm going to end up adding them, but
okay.
I just wonder how many times there's been steam towards the White Sox and steam towards the over, like recently at the same game. So I feel like that's very, very few and far in between these days.
Yeah, probably not often. Okay.
But
all right.
If I am going to back the White Sox in any game, it's going to be when one of the big two are on the mound.
Your guys.
Has to be.
All right. Wouldn't be shocked to see them get a W. Might be a solo miss for you, though, but I'll be rooting for you.
Okay? Yeah, don't expect anything else. It is the White Sox.
Let's go to that Brew Crew and Cubbies game.
Sure.
Chad Patrick, Ben Brown. Two young starters. How do we think they both pitched today?
This one is
just a wind game, or
my brain in a pretzel for a little bit. I believe it is a little bit of a wind game.
Okay.
Not significant enough to make, I guess, that much of a difference because, I mean, the total is not super, super high. But I think it is a little bit like one of those, I guess, ballpark greenish situations. But I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this game because everything on paper says you should fade Chad Patrick. He started to look like Chad Patrick. I've seen, again, two of the things on the feed that I've seen 20,000 times today. One of them is PCA, which should go well because he's so bad. But I wouldn't be shocked if PCA just shoves, or Chad Patrick just shoves and just proves everybody wrong. I could absolutely see that. And the
I'm a Chad Patrick guy.
Win.
I like Chad Patrick.
He's a Krabs guy.
Yep. I like his less than 1.5 walks allowed after walking 6 guys in his last 2 starts.
Sure.
That square's looking to be kind of funny.
Shout out Chad. No walks.
Yeah. I'll be on it. Chance of rain, only 10-mile-an-hour winds. Okay. W cream fresh. Nothing crazy, but maybe a little bit of help. A little bit of help for some runs. Yeah, Chewy punching air after hearing Jovan call PCA bad. Sure.
PCA.
Sure.
Just.
All right.
Just.
Let's keep moving and grooving. Couple other games to get to. Just a loaded slate today on the diamond. Love to see it. Sox in Seattle. Walker Buehler and Brian Wu. What are your thoughts on Buehler versus Wu, Brown?
That's another one that I guess had my brain in a pretzel a little bit because I was looking at yesterday's game and everything in me wanted to back the Red Sox, both because of the spot and because of the matchup. Because the only thing that was really stopping me was the fact that Giolito was coming off of a gem and really should have stuck with it there. But the Red Sox have just been, despite the Devers news, which I know it's only been one game, but they've been playing damn well as of late. I don't really know that I want to get in the way of that. And the same thing applies. Like Walker Buehler is coming off of not quite a Giolito gem, but he's through 7 strong against right now the hottest team in baseball in the Rays and got a win, gave up 3 runs. So is that ideal to back coming into this game? Probably not, but I don't know that I want to get in the way of that team right now.
Yeah. Maybe after that trade, this team just keeps on cooking. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
And look, they had a weird earned run square up for Walker Buehler. Let's see if it's still up. But they had a Walker Buehler. Yeah, they do still have it up. 2.5 earned runs allowed after giving up, 13 runs in his last 3 starts. I want to take the less than on that. Would not be shocked if the Red Sox magic continues when everybody's like, why the hell did they just trade Ralphie Devers? Well, they're on a crazy win streak right now. They swept the Yankees, and they're still winning. They'd probably keep it up, and they get another W on the roads. I like him at plus check.
Side note, I just clicked on the earned runs category, or like the tab that I have it up on here. Someone just moved from 2.5 to 3.5 in front of my face. Can you guess who that was?
Normal squares?
No, not normal squares. I'm looking on the book, so like it's plus fat plus checky to go over 3.5.
Probably now, whoever's facing. Look at the games. JP Sears?
Not JP Sears.
Is it Festa?
Not Festa. I don't even know where he is on here, but it was Zach Littell.
Wow. Was not expecting that. I thought about taking his less than pitching outs, but I didn't want to fade the guy. He's got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
He is I'm always scared about taking Littell pitching out fades because he's like the one pitcher on the roster, which it's probably because he's going to get moved, but they just don't give a shit about his arm. Like they will let him roll the complete game, 120 pitches, I think he was. They would never even think about letting Taj, Shane, Pepio, or any other pitcher do that. But Littell, they don't give a shit. They'll let him ride for however long.
Okay. Yeah, they might just leave him out there to dry. Seeing the Orioles as a favorite now with Dean Kramer or not a favorite, sorry, -105. Seeing a minus sign next to their ML when they opened up plus 115 with Dean Kramer on the bump. I bet.
Yeah,
Insane.
That one's a little less weird because I feel like, you talk about Eflin. Eflin doesn't typically get line respect as much as all the other pitchers do, but Dean Kramer, every single time he pitches, it looks odd.
No bullpen
shirt
today. Last night. Ooh.
Yeah, I bet.
It's like Orioles orange.
I bet.
No bullpen was used last night. I like fading his pitching outs if he gets in trouble. Geek Goot, good point. Also a notorious Rays fan, Geek Goot. Sure we can.
Yeah, for the Rays, it really doesn't matter. Bullpen usage. They just kind of pick and choose.
Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's talk about Sassoni versus Robbie Ray. Guards, Giants, total down to 7. Any thoughts on this game?
Not too much. I've been auto fading the Guardians against every single damn near left-handed pitcher they've faced because they are absolutely atrocious. So why would my head go anywhere other than that now, I guess, outside of the fact I'm not going to go and back Robbie Ray because he's been good to the point where I don't really feel super compelled to do so. But the Guardians are probably not going to hit him. They haven't hit any lefty worth of shit in almost 3 months now. So it's probably not starting now. But again, he does kind of have, I know it's the hyped up debut of Devers, this new lineup, and the total's still at 7, and they still find ways to not score when Robbie Ray ends up getting on the mound, even though they win the games. It is not often with many runs. So it's probably going to be just the grossest game of all time. Sassoni gives up a bomb or two, and it's 3-1 Giants. Classic Giants Guards game.
It might be a classic. Sassoni in that 4.2 ERA starting to show that he's human. Robbie Ray has just been fucking him. I'm afraid to fade that guy the rest of the season. It might just be Robbie Ray year.
Might be.
Total down to 7. Might just be a vintage Giants game. Curious to see what Dever does in the debut. I won't be fading him, but definitely not backing him to go like everybody probably will be on Dinger Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm good. All right. What else? A couple other games here. Do you like Houston or the Athletics?
Kind of feel like it's the Stros, which it's odd because I really don't know who's pitching for the Stros other than Alexander for however long. I don't know if they plan because he's only pitched 2 innings for a majority of the past couple of years, but they've shown he pitched extended hours with the A's a lot, but I don't know how long he's going to go. But again, I talked about this. I think it's a great matchup for Jacob Wilson because he lives in the zone and Jacob Wilson destroys that pitch mix and destroys everything he throws. But the whole rest of the A's team kind of pounds balls into the dirt. It's like Jose Soriano is not Alexander, but like Jose Soriano, when he has one of the highest ground ball rates in baseball. It's like he pitched that gem against the A's, not just because he was striking out a billion guys, but because every time they made contact, it was going 5 feet into the ground. If Alexander does that again against everybody not named Jacob Wilson, it's probably going to end up pretty well. So like there's a lot of steam towards the A's because of the pitching situation, but if anything, especially after last night, probably could be a buyback on the Astros in my head.
All right. Buy your stock now, folks. God, man. How long do you think Alexander's going to go?
I don't know. That's like the big question.
Yeah.
Like he had some starts with the A's maybe last year, but like he can go like 4 or 5 innings if they make him. But like he hasn't pitched like that in the majors in a while. So like I don't know if it's going to be full bullpen game or they said he was going to start. That's like the language they use. So I don't know. Maybe he's actually going out there and throwing that 4 or 5 innings, but I have no fucking clue, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up baseball. You like anything else in the Dodgers game besides the over? Assuming not.
Well, I'll just say, you remember the period I was in probably for like the first month and a half where I was just taking Tatis every day?
Yep.
Just sneaking him because he was just seeing him like that.
Back.
He's seeing him. He's earned his way back to that until further notice.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Dude's a fucking beast.
He's seeing him. And that would be
He's him.
incredibly surprised if he leaves Dodger Stadium without some moment, whether it's a vintage like nuke, whether it's a clutch moment at the end of the game to like win them the game, whether it's something crazy on the base pass, there's something coming. I'd be surprised if he leaves without it. So like that's part of the reason he's earned his way back. But yeah, take a Tatis until he cools down.
Thoughts on Ohtani pitching last night? Looking like shit.
You know what was really close? That immaculate inning that was posted everywhere. And all the Twitter VIPs posted. It was really close. It had some usage.
Somebody out there sprinkled on that.
Oh, not somebody. There were plenty. I saw plenty of tickets talking about there was value. Like
Wow.
it was a plus like 50,000 bets. Like at the end of the day, like plus 50,000 bet or whatever it was, plus 50,000. But like if you're taking that bet, like
Right.
can we be serious?
Come on. I know.
Can we be serious?
I mean, it's probably be plus a bazillion. Plus you just own the book.
Yeah. It's just like that's why FanDuel and I guess all the books just rake in coin.
All right. They're raking coins. Raking coins on shit like that. Chat, you guys know when you see shit like that, you fade. Come on. We've trained you up, right? You know that. Wish I could have taken Padres to score in the first. Probably could have if I looked hard enough, but
Could have, dude.
that shit was smacking. And then Dylan Cease is maybe the worst pitcher I've ever seen as well this year. Makes no sense. Throws 98 paint, and he still gets mucked up every time he pitches.
Tossing Turks.
Tossing Turks, bro.
Little Turks.
You see him and Pajes getting into it last night?
I saw that. Which probably means Beach Ball Pajes might hit one to San Diego tonight.
Yeah. Yurfie was plus a hundo. Wow. That would have been the move, Cola. Plus
Holy ma.
chicken? Damn it. All right.
So yeah,
Well-
Rizzy Reese got into some beef over the weekend too, Krabs. I don't know if you saw that.
No way. I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
Reese and Wilson Contreras were beefing,
Okay.
yelling at each
Okay.
other from the field to the dugout, talking about post game.
Wow.
Shout out Reese being a bigger person.
Wilson has some things to say about him after that too.
Yeah, he called them some choice
He
names.
showed him some choice words.
Yeah,
Look that up, Krabs. It's a crazy quote.
I'm
insane.
going to watch that
quote.
after this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I
Dude,
think
anything or Tuesday plays you're liking today? Sorry, Jovan.
I really like that O'Hearn angle because, like, if you watch every O's game like me, he gets really angry when he fucks up, and he hit him like 2 double plays yesterday. So he's going to come in angry.
he also hit, I think, the furthest foul ball I've seen hit
Oh, yeah.
in that stadium.
Oh, it was
That
over
was
the barn in right field.
Yeah, it was sent to the moon.
Moon.
Super foul, but like
I thought it was
deep in
gone.
right field. It was on a Dale Mabry. It was like
I literally stood up. I was like, that's gone.
they didn't even have a camera angle to like
know.
show where it went.
I had no idea where it was going. And the O's commentators, like, they couldn't tell either. They thought it might have been gone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
If he goes yard, he probably ain't hitting the Adley unicorn. That's probably
No.
going
It's probably gone
a little further than that.
onto the highway.
Yeah.
Or at the Buck Stadium. That's where it's going.
All right.
Yeah, might hit the pirate ship.
Any WNBA plays tonight, Jets?
Can't say I have any WNBA plays, Krabs.
There's 6
Have
games.
you been hitting the lab in the WNBA, or like what's the story?
I haven't been locking in many wagers, but I've been keeping my eyes peeled.
Sure.
Checking the slate, prepping, getting ready. See a couple interesting games today. You got the Fever against Connecticut. Connecticut's off to a slow start. Fever laying 17.5. That is insane. That game's on NBA TV tonight. If you want to watch Caitlin Clark just ball, absolutely ball out, you can tune in, watch that puppy. You got Atlanta versus the Liberty, and I think the Liberty just took their first loss of the season against the Fever. Yeah, they did. Coming off their first loss, they were 9-0 before that. Liberty looking like the best team in the league again. They're laying only 8.5 though against the Dream, who've been very competitive as well. That should be a pretty good game. You get the Sticks versus Angel Reese.
That's why you wanted to bring it up. Sticks are active.
Yeah. Sticks have been struggling now.
I knew there was
Sticks have been
something.
struggling. Yep. Sticks were playing well in the beginning of the season, but kind of come back down to earth. I know they're pretty young and not as talented, and their best player, Georgia Amore, isn't even playing yet this season. So 4 L's in their last 5, although Chicago's not great either. That's why we're seeing the Sticks as favorites on the road. They're up from 3.5 to 4.5 on some books. Probably a good ML piece. Sticks on the ML.
Sure.
All right. Very promising future for the Sticks. I agree, T-Bone Steak. I agree. They do have some good young players. Okay. Then you got Las Vegas versus Minnesota. Minnesota's 10-1. Best record in the W. They've been balling, and they're up to 13.5. They opened up 9.5. They're catching a ton of steam, Jovan. They probably blow out the Aces, who look like a shell of themselves this season. Keep fading the Aces until they turn it around. They look bad. They're not dialed. 5-5. Seeing the Aces just getting 13.5 points is crazy to me. I haven't seen that in forever. It's nuts. Speak of the Golden State Valkyries, you can get them a plus chicken today against Dallas.
Sounds incredibly enticing.
To be honest with you, it's pretty weird seeing Dallas catch steam and as a favorite. They're 1-11, and the Valkyries are 5-5. It might be Dallas's night. Maybe it's Paige Bucher's night.
Certainly could be.
Yep. That is a real team, folks. That is a real team. And then we've got Seattle and LA to close us out tonight on NBA TV. Seattle's laying 9. There must be an injury or some shit for the Sparks because this game opened up closer to a pick'em. Seattle's laying 9 on the road against LA. Crazy.
Certainly.
All right. Let's keep moving to groove and chat. It's about that time. We went over the MLB slate. We talked about the ice. Shit, we even talked WNBA. Why don't we go ahead and craft up a squad ride, make sure we cash one of these puppies today, and spend plenty of time on this. No need to rush it. No need to force it. Gootsy,
Sure.
fire that puppy up. I want to see that train. All right, Jovan. I need to know. Favorite play of the day today?
You sure you want that answer?
I do.
Yankees.
Here we go again, folks. Yankees -1. Might as well just run the poll now. Let me get a little Twins Reds over in this puppy, huh?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yep.
This might have to be a 2-leg poll here. I don't know if I want to even involve the Orioles.
Plums for 2 legs? Yeah. The Orioles haven't really earned their way in. Even though we're getting. See, this is the shit I'm talking about with Goots, man. We're flexing.
Take the late night over.
11 wins, and they're 11 games under. Could take the late night over.
I like that late night over.
I do too, obviously.
Let's put it in there.
Sure.
Let's get 3 plays, 3 winners on the slate today. Padres, Dodgers over 10. Sure. Let's run 3 plays, 3 winners, and run the poll for 3 or 5 minutes. You can just do 3 dudes. It's fine. W's. We got the poll up, folks. Get involved. 3 plays, 3 winners. We need a bounce back squad ride for today. Yankees -1.5. Twins, Reds over. And the Padres and Dodgers over 10. Get involved. Hurry up. Go, go, go. If you're watching on YouTube, that's great. That's fine. That's cool. Now's the time to make your way over to the Twitch chat so you can lock in your vote for the squad ride poll. Get involved. Yeah, Jovan, any thoughts on the College World Series? Anything else you want to touch on before we move? Joshy is dialed in on the chat.
Not really for these games. Like I said,
Okay.
Oregon State's a huge favorite. So I like them, and I took them the first time around, but I'm not laying -240. I'm seeing now. And then UCLA, Arkansas, back against the wall. Probably would lean UCLA if anything, but that's devoid of any pitching news we would have about that, because I don't really know what their plan is going to be after playing the makeup game today, and that really hurts their pitching staff.
Okay. Yeah, I just hope for some craziness. I hope for some hectic games in the College World Series. That's what I want to see.
There's definitely going to be some craziness.
Okay. All right. Chat, get those votes in. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Right now, the Yankees out to a lead. We'll see if that lasts. Still got some time. Get involved. All right. 3 plays, 3 winners. Yankees -1.5. Twins, Reds over 9. And the Padres, Dodgers over 10.
How do we not put the NHL under in here, dude?
We're not putting that shit in here. Are you kidding me? No.
You're getting one, man. You're getting
That's
one.
side splooge. Side splooge.
Unbelievable.
Okay. We put that in, no shot it hits. We keep it off to the side, we get a chance.
I mean, we haven't put it in once, I don't think, right? Maybe once.
I feel like we've had it at least in a poll.
Yeah, it might have been in a poll once.
Yeah. Okay. All right, chat, get involved. 3 plays, 3 winners. Yankees -1.5. Twins, Reds over 9. And the Padres, Dodgers over 10. 3 plays, 3 winners.
Krabs, I tell you, they have or I think I posted about it, but they have some random, I don't know if it's an all MLB team thing, but the Rays at least have it, where it's like an MLB The Show tournament, apparently.
Huh.
I tapped in.
No way.
Tapped in.
You're playing in it?
I don't know how it works or whatever, but it's supposed to be
All right.
this weekend. I'm in there.
Wow. Do you have to be a certain ranking or some shit just to get in there?
No, I think anybody can just do it. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. All right. You prepping? You doing you working out? You playing some warm-up games?
Yeah, and in the lab. I guess
Cool.
you got to play as the Rays against the Rays. Everybody has to use the Rays.
Okay.
So I've been in the lab,
Just
getting some online
Rays?
games in. Yeah. It's hard because all the Rays cards are moose shit.
Oh.
Moose shit. It's like you're hitting with
Oh.
bronzes and rat shit silvers, but it could be so goated. If I go through and qualify, that would be so
Yeah, keep us updated, bro. That'd be sick.
So goated. Might have to
That'd be
stream
so
it
cool.
on Saturday. Get Trent to manage the team.
Ooh. Okay. That could be a fun little weekend sweat.
Yeah, that'd be
Sure.
hilarious. I don't know when it's supposed to be, but at some point this weekend.
Okay. Well, Jovan, looks like the chat's trusting you today, going with the Yankees -1.5 on the run line. Sure.
All right.
Okay. He ain't hitting a nuke tonight. Chat,
Right.
W stream, no shot Aaron Judge produces or hits a nuke tonight. But we're taking the Yankees -1.5, and we'll meet you guys at the cash counter. W's. Appreciate all you joining. Appreciate all the subbies. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday.